Becoming rich is not as hard as you think. In fact, studies have found that 80% of millionaires coming from families at or below middle income levels. If you just learn the basics and stay consistent, even with an average job, you will accumulate significant amount of wealth without much effort. But why most people are not rich? You see, in school they don't teach you anything about wealth accumulation. So most people have to figure this out by themselves, resulting a huge knowledge gap between the rich and the poor. In this video, I will attempt to bridge this gap by telling you one of the easiest way to become wealthy. But before we start, let me tell you something. I know you have probably watched tens if not hundreds of these types of videos, claiming to make you rich quickly. I bet very few of them, if at all, show any proof of their actual results. Not to mention that many of these channels are promoting risky schemes involving cryptocurrencies and day trading that can result in huge losses. On my channel, I will only cover low-risk methods that I've tried and tested myself. In the past year, my combined investment portfolio has grown by $200K for doing pretty much nothing. All returns are earned with the outperformance of the underlying companies. I have attached my real-life investment portfolio in the description below so you can check my past performance. I will cover more advanced investing concepts in future videos that will further accelerate your return exponentially. But for now, let's start off with a 4-steps method to help you start accumulating wealth right away. It is very important that you implement all the steps for this method to work, so please make sure you stick with me until the end. Most people don't have a budget. They often waste their money on expensive coffees, restaurants, impulse buying, and then wonder where all their money went. A shocking 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck in 2023. What people don't know is by simply having a budget, they will uncover ways to maximize their savings every single month, enabling them to invest more in high-value assets and setting the stage for their wealth to grow exponentially over time. You can start by taking a look at your credit card statement from the last month to see how much you spent on categories such as groceries, dining out, and entertainment. Next, we need to get an idea how much people spend on average for each category. This information can be easily found with a quick Google search. Here is an example for Toronto, the city I'm living in. On this website, I have found all the information I need. I noticed the average cost for food and transportation is much higher than what I spend, so I set a lower budget for myself. Make sure to select a number based on your situation that will create some challenges, but not so much that it makes your life painful. Once we have all the numbers, list them out on a Google sheet, with columns representing each category and rows representing dates. You can do this at the end of every month, but I recommend updating your record right after every single purchase. It may sound like a lot, but it is actually very easy once you make it a habit. It only takes a few seconds using the Google Sheets app on your phone. I have personally done this for the past 6 years, and it has helped my progress tremendously. But wait, there is more. We can take further advantage of our budget by applying for credit cards that offers the best rewards for our highest spending categories. Doing this will save us hundreds of dollars every year in forms of cashback or membership points. There is a saying that cash flow is king. When you have positive cash flow and invest it every month, it will generate even more cash flow, leading to a compounding effect that will grow your wealth exponentially. But how can an average person amplify their cash flow? What are some effective ways to increase income and cut expenses? 7 ways will be covered in this video, all of which I have personally tested. And don't be afraid to get creative and come up with your own approaches. The possibilities are endless. Remember, every company on this planet is established to maximize profits, and they will never increase your salary more than needed unless you ask. Here is a rule of thumb. Negotiate your salary at least once a year. If you haven't done it for more than a year, make sure to do it next time when you chat with your manager. Talk respectfully, and the worst case scenario is to get a no. In this case, just ask what you can improve on, make the improvement, then ask again once your better performance is recognized by the team. Make sure you do the market research about the average salary of your position before going into the negotiation, and asking for at least the average pay or higher based on your confidence level. The truth is, if you make yourself a valuable member on the team, it will be very hard for your boss to refuse your request. Just imagine all of the cost and pain they will have to go through to find someone else to replace you. In this video, we are focusing on methods to generate cash flow with least amount of effort. I will not talk about generating income by starting your own business, such as opening online shops. These endeavors have great potential, but are extremely time-consuming and have high rates of failure. You may have seen many success stories on social media of people in their 20s making millions from selling on Amazon. While some of them are certainly real, most fall into what Abraham Wald defined as survivorship bias, as those 90% of people who failed will never show up on your feed. To avoid the grave risks of starting our own business, the only way left is to own other people's businesses. The easy way to do this is by investing in a diversified portfolio of profitable public companies through the stock market. A step-by-step guide on how to do this will be introduced later in this video. We should try to minimize two major expenses everyone faces: transportation and housing. This can be done by meticulously choosing where we live and work, and if possible, eliminates the need to purchase a car. Buying a car not only wastes our valuable startup capital on a depreciating asset, but also introduces an expensive monthly auto insurance bill. When I was just starting off, I lived at a place in downtown Toronto, within walking distance of my office. It was just one room in a house shared with roommates, and the rent was $500 per month, compared to $1,500 for a bachelor condo. This choice did not make my life miserable. The city has everything I need, and the public transportation is well developed. To choose your home location wisely, I found it helpful to have a detailed plan before making a move. Write down all your requirements on a piece of paper and use it as a reference when doing the house hunting. First, we must eliminate the most dangerous beast among all types of bad debt: the credit card debt. With interest rates often exceeding 20%, the balance can quickly grow out of control, even if the monthly payments seem small. Remember, the greatest investor in the world only earns a 20% annual return, so make sure to always pay your credit cards in full every month. Next, we should try to pay off any car loans and line of credits as much as possible. Paying off these high-interest debt is equivalent to making risk-free, tax-free investments. For a peace of mind, I personally aim to pay off any debt that has interest rate above 5% as much as I can. Always shop around and negotiate your mortgage rate, whether it's for a new mortgage or a renewal. Countless people spend a lot of time bargain hunting and switching to low-cost brands to save a few dollars, yet they leave money on the table when it comes to their single largest transaction. Many banks even reward significant cashback bonus to incentivize you to move over. To make your life easier, make sure to use mortgage brokers. These professionals usually possess hard-to-find information from smaller banks that are willing to lend at lower rates compared to major banks. Reach out to at least 3 brokers with good reputation to get the lowest rate possible. The same principles apply if you are renting. Always keep an eye on the market to ensure you are not overpaying compared to the average. Be a good tenant. Always pay your rent on time and don't bother your landlord with every small issue. Follow these steps and you will be surprised at how willing landlords are to offer you a good rate. Here's an example of how I negotiated my rent down from $1,600 to $1,450 per month for 8 months in 2021, resulting in a total savings of $1,200. Companies such as airlines, restaurants, and grocery chains often have loyalty programs that incentivize customers to return. While the rewards may seem small, they add up quickly over time. In most cases, you just need to download an app and register an account to join. It's important to use these programs only when you need to spend money anyway. Don't overspend just to earn rewards. Here are some loyalty programs I personally use that save me hundreds of dollars every year. Whenever you plan to make major purchases, such as traveling abroad or replacing an expensive appliance, you can take advantage of credit card sign-up bonuses. These offers usually require you to spend a specific amount of money within the first few months of opening your account, and often reward you with cashback or loyalty points worth up to $1,000. Opening new credit card accounts can affect your credit score, so make sure to do this sparsely. I personally sign up for at most 2 new cards per year, once every 6 months, and always cancel the previous ones I've stopped using. If you're still watching, it means you're completely serious, and I want you to give me your full attention for a few minutes, because what comes next is the single most important key to unlocking immense wealth for anyone, with any experience levels. Albert Einstein has famously said, "Compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it." Let's take a look at how this works in real life. Let's say you invest $200 every single week. an amount you can get by working at a McDonald's for 2 days, and invest it at 10% annual return. After 10 years, you will already have close to $200,000. After 20 years, your wealth will exceed $500,000. The number only becomes more ridiculous. After 30 years, you will have more than $1.8 million. And after 40 years, you will have a $5 million fortune. $5 million. This is the magic of compound interest at work. It starts slow, but the profits eventually explode as long as you stay persistent and continue to invest. Now let's get into the details about how to get that 10% compound return easily by investing into a stock index. Before you start, it is very important that you have emergency savings that cover at least 3 months of basic expenses. This way, you won't be forced to sell your investments at the worst time possible in case you need the money in an emergency. Once you are ready, you want to start with investing in an S&P 500 index ETF.
I think it's the same thing that makes most sense practically all of the time, and that is to consistently buy an S&P 500 low-cost index fund. Keep buying it through thick and thin, and especially through thin.
The profitability of this index is no joke. It has produced an 11.35% average annual return over the past 50 years, outperforming 80% of active fund managers. A popular S&P 500 index ETF you can buy in Canada has the ticker symbol VFV. This ETF charges a minimal management fee. Feel free to choose other ETFs in your local currency, but make sure to pay attention to the management fees. A 1% fee may not look like much, but it will cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars in a 30-year time frame. ETFs are traded on the stock exchange. You can purchase them by opening an online brokerage account. Make sure your broker charges minimal commission fees. These expenses will add up quickly. I have attached the best brokerage I'm personally using in the description below. Once your brokerage account is opened, you want to invest a fixed amount of money into the index whenever your paycheck arrives, every single month. There are 2 major benefits by creating an investment program like this. Most people act emotionally when the stock market goes up and down. They often FOMO into hot stocks selling at exuberant prices, only to panic sell at huge losses when the tide goes out. This has a devastating effect to their portfolios. By investing a fixed amount on a predetermined date every month, you have effectively removed emotions out of the equation. You are automatically buying more when the price is cheap and buying less when the price is expensive. This will not only drastically reduce your cognitive stress of making investment decisions, but also further increase your long-term returns. Financial technologies today are powerful enough to completely automate your investment process. Most banks allow you to automatically transfer funds on the day your paycheck arrives, and many online stockbrokers also have features to support pre-scheduled monthly ETF purchases. Once everything is set up, it'll free up a lot of time for you to focus on other important aspects of your life. By the way, if you wish to level up your wealth into the next level and unlock the ultimate freedom, make sure to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. See you next time.